Have you ever given everything to a goal and felt like nothing was moving? You wake up before sunrise, you push through tired days, and still success stays just out of reach. Hours turn into months, hope turns into frustration, and you begin to question whether your effort has any meaning at all. Sometimes life moves slower than we expect. You watch others rise while you remain in the same place, repeating the same steps, waiting for something to change. But what if the delay is not punishment? What if it is the training that prepares you for something greater? This is the story of a young man who discovered that real growth cannot be rushed. His name was Elias, and his journey began with the one quality most people struggle to trust: patience. In a quiet valley surrounded by tall hills, there lived a young carpenter named Elias. The village was known for its wooden furniture, carved doors, and hand-built homes that lasted for generations. Every workshop smelled of fresh pine and polished oak, and the sound of hammers echoed through the streets each morning. Elias had learned the craft from his grandfather, a patient man whose hands were slow but steady. Elias, however, was nothing like him. He was 22, full of energy and ambition. He dreamed of building dozens of chairs, selling them across the region, and becoming known as the fastest carpenter in the valley. While others measured and cut carefully, Elias rushed. He hammered harder, sawed quicker, and stacked finished pieces high. At first, it looked impressive. His workshop filled up faster than anyone else's, but the problems soon followed. The legs of his chairs wobbled. The joints came loose. The wood cracked when it dried. Still, Elias refused to slow down. One morning, his grandfather watched him struggling with a crooked table. "You're pushing the wood too hard," he said gently. "I don't have time to wait," Elias replied. "If I go slow, someone else will take the customers." The old man smiled. "Strong things are not built in a hurry." Elias ignored him. He tightened the screws harder and kept working. By evening, 3 of his tables collapsed. He stared at the broken pieces with clenched fists. The next day, news spread through the valley. The annual trade fair was coming. Craftsmen from far towns would arrive, and the best work would earn a place in the grand marketplace. Elias felt his heart race. This was his chance to finally prove himself. "I will build 50 chairs," he told his grandfather. "I will be seen." "Build 5 that last," the old man replied calmly. But Elias was already measuring wood, already rushing. His hands moved fast, but his focus slipped. He skipped sanding. He glued before the joints were ready. By nightfall, his workshop was filled with furniture that looked fine but felt weak. Days passed. Elias worked until his arms burned. He barely ate. He barely rested. And each time he tested his work, something failed. Late one night, he sat on the floor surrounded by broken chairs. For the first time, he didn't feel angry. He felt empty. The following morning, Elias found his grandfather in the small courtyard sanding a single wooden box. His movements were slow and calm, as if time did not exist. "Why do you work so slowly?" Elias asked. The old man smiled. "So I don't have to work twice." Those words stayed with Elias. That night, instead of rushing, he chose one chair, just one. He measured carefully. He cut slowly. He let the glue set before moving to the next step. It felt uncomfortable at first, like walking when he was used to running. The next day, he checked the chair. It was straight, strong. He adjusted a corner and waited again. Day by day, Elias repeated the process. One piece, one step, one moment at a time. Some villagers laughed as they passed his workshop. "1 chair a day," they joked. "You'll miss the fair." Elias smiled quietly. "This one will last." His hands became steadier. His mind grew calmer. Instead of racing, he listened to the wood. He noticed how it bent, how it dried, how it settled. Weeks passed. He had only a few chairs, but they were the best he had ever made. When he pressed on them, they did not move. When he sat, they did not creak. His grandfather came by one evening and tested one gently. "Now the wood listens to you," he said. "No," Elias replied softly. "I finally learned to listen to it." Soon the trade fair arrived. Banners filled the streets. Music echoed through the square. Craftsmen displayed their finest work. Elias loaded his small collection of chairs onto a cart and walked slowly toward the market. When he arrived, people stared. "Is that all you made?" someone asked. "Yes," Elias said, "but they are ready." A merchant sat on one and nodded in surprise. "This feels strong." Elias smiled. "It took time." The judges soon stopped by. One of them ran his hand along the smooth wood. "How long did this take?" he asked. "Longer than I wanted to," Elias replied. The judge smiled. "That's usually how good things are made." At sunset, the mayor stepped onto the wooden stage and called for silence. The crowd gathered as the awards were announced. "This year's honor goes to the craftsman whose patience turned effort into excellence," he said. He looked toward Elias. The crowd turned and applauded. Elias stood still, unable to believe it. His grandfather placed a hand on his shoulder. "Time listened," he whispered. The silver medal felt small in Elias' hand, but its meaning felt heavy. It was not about winning, it was about understanding. Life in the valley soon returned to its quiet rhythm, but Elias was no longer the same. He worked without rushing. He cleaned his tools each evening. He built with care, not fear. People noticed. When furniture broke, they brought it to him. He repaired each piece with steady hands. Travelers stopped to watch him work. One day, a child asked, "Doesn't waiting get boring?" Elias smiled. "If I rush, I start over. If I wait, I finish." Years passed. Elias became known far beyond the valley, but he never chased speed again. He chased quality. One evening, his grandfather visited and looked at the workshop filled with strong, beautiful furniture. "You built more than wood," he said. "You built peace." Elias nodded. "Patience built it." Patience is not standing still. It is working quietly while time does its part. Elias learned that rushing only creates more work, but waiting with purpose creates something that lasts. Maybe you are building something in your life right now. A dream, a career, a future. And maybe it feels slow. Maybe it feels unfair. But just because it is quiet does not mean it is empty. Strong things take time. The tallest trees grow unseen. The deepest roots form in silence. Elias once believed speed was strength, but he learned that true strength is control. It is showing up every day, even when no one is watching. So if your results are not here yet, do not quit. Do not rush. Keep working. Keep waiting. Because when your moment comes, it will not come fast. It will come firm. Patience is not about waiting in silence. It is about moving forward while time shapes the result. It is the courage to continue when everything inside you wants to quit. Maybe you have been working hard, hoping, pushing, and still the outcome has not appeared. It is easy to believe you are behind. But sometimes life slows us down because what we are creating needs more room to grow. Patience does not mean stopping. It means returning every day, even when no one is cheering. It means trusting that the effort you give in private still matters. When Elias stopped chasing speed, he discovered calm. And in that calm, he found power. He learned that patience is not weakness. It is focus guided by faith. The truth is, meaningful things take time. A mountain is not shaped in a day. The strongest foundations are built when no one is watching. So if you are still waiting for your breakthrough, do not turn back now. Stay steady. Stay committed. Keep moving forward. Because one day, all the quiet work you have done will rise. Not quickly, but strongly. Patience does not need noise. When it succeeds, its results speak for themselves.